Tech fans, it's time to be up with the white and gold. He is GaTechJon Watts. I am Jeremy the Impact York. I want to welcome you guys in. We start with the bad. We're going to get into the okay, and then we're going to finish with some really good. But first, as we always do, you guys know how to be a part of the show. If you don't, send us a message right here on YouTube, and we'll tell you how to do it. Otherwise, let's see how everybody's doing. I know I'm doing okay. How are you, John?
I'm doing good as well. It's the week after the girls got back from New York, and they're resting up and getting back into the swing of things. And kids are out all next week, so just finishing up one more day this week. Of course, and then it's round 2 of the high school playoffs tomorrow. So
yep,
it'll be fun.
Yeah, if you want to meet this guy, we won't be far from. Wait, side. That side. I get it wrong every time. At least on my screen, you're on that side. So if you want to see this guy and be not far from that guy's front door, I will be out with hometown sports media at Bowden High School tomorrow night. One of the close schools to you. There's a couple. But yeah, we'll be out. We'll be out there. I actually have some people I know who could drop in, who had no idea I was going to be out there. So that should be fun. But other than that, a lot of people say that summer in Paris is great. Clearly, John is spending his winter in Paris. I don't blame you. Everybody gets back from New York, and you're like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to Paris.
Yep. And what's in this little design here is Paris, Tennessee, not France. But yeah, and you'll be at Bowden. I'll be at Carrollton.
Oh yeah, that's right. They will have a home game as well. That's right. You will be out there with them. We'll probably do some check-ins or something like that, and we'll figure something out. Yep. Maybe some just fun stuff. You know how we do things. But hey, you said Tennessee. Tennessee is known for the color orange, and so are the Clemson Tigers, who are known for putting up a lot of points, particularly against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And I'm gonna toss it over to you because I want to hear your take on it. I know you said you pretty much started really tuning out when it was about 42-7, I think you said, which means you missed the best part of the game for Georgia Tech outside of the end. And that would be they scored 2 garbage time touchdowns and made it look a lot closer than it was.
Yeah, one of those kind of things, we scored first, we scored last, but didn't score enough. Yeah, that it looked great. It was that first quarter, it was 7-0. I'm like, all right, we're not doing so bad. And then the second quarter came along, and apparently we were standing on the tracks when the train came through.
I think you were trying to pick the track up.
I mean, we were trying to put it and engineer it somewhere else.
Or actually, what you were trying to do, you were trying to make some souvenirs. You were putting all your pennies down on the track. The only problem is you don't need to stand on the track when you do that.
I mean, we just didn't engineer it right,
No. You did a hey, this is our show, we can do this, and this shouldn't get us an adult rating, but you did a heck of a bad engineering job.
Yeah, not a hell of a one, because that's usually a good thing.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, even the stats look like me or you tried to play. Maybe worse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, when you have more interceptions than you do touchdowns, not great.
That being said, I want to see how many did Klubnik throw. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had one.
He threw
interception
for every. King threw an interception.
Yeah.
So they're almost equal. Then it seems like, because that's 4 for 4. That I'll take that.
Yeah, but it doesn't really help that all 8 of those goes to the Clemson team catching them.
Well, it's about time Clemson got a break in this world. They had Deshaun Watson. They had a local product, 40 minutes from about where I sit. Just forgot his name. Trevor Lawrence, who went out to Cartersville High School, not far from us. I mean, they had those 2, mediocre quarterbacks. I mean, it's about time they get this Klubnik kid, and they actually catch a break. And Dabo Swinney looks looks really good. I mean, I hate that it's at the expense of Georgia Tech, but Clemson looked good.
Yeah, I mean, they always use it's always the expense of us, I mean, our wins against Clemson aren't as bad as our next opponent, but they're not always that great. Things were different, back in the old days, but
Yeah.
over the last decade or decade and a half, it's pretty much been swayed toward them.
And now the unfortunate part. I mean, we're going to talk more about this game, but the unfortunate part is you have two chances to try to win one game, and there's a decent chance, and there's a pray for food poisoning from the varsity. That I guess, and I hope not, because the varsity is not known for that at all. They're one of my favorite
No.
establishments. They're one of your favorite establishments. I mean, in fact, there's a good chance that if that other team from Athens were to eat at the varsity, they may actually win this game. It would just fuel them through it. But I mean, was there any real highlight from this game that anything that you actually liked that they did?
I mean, like I said, I mean, we did come out going. So I mean, we started out good.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta continue that kind of momentum, and just just kind of didn't. And I mean, yeah, we did score 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but unfortunately, the point. When the other team has 42 points, you're down 35. 2 touchdowns only helps a little. You still, we needed 35 points, and what is that? 5 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to go along with what they, and that would have just gone to overtime. So 5 touchdowns and a safety in the fourth quarter, at minimum, what we needed, or a couple 8-pointers. But
I mean, you did mention a team earlier in the show that's capable of doing that, and you'll be at their game on Friday. But other than that, it's pretty not possible for that to happen. This may be a stretch, but if you had to give out your team MVP award, what player or players do you think was the MVP of the day?
I think, Haynes did pretty well. I mean, over 100 yards rushing, 104. But somehow, Haynes King got a touchdown, but -3 rushing yards. So that's a little weird one.
It counts sacks. It counts sacks and tackles for a loss as losses. So you could rush for 10 yards, but if you get sacked for 2 yards 5 times, then you'll have 0 rushing yards. It's just the way it configures in there.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I mean, and we kind of spread out the receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, all in all, I mean, it was a good team effort for what was done. Just unfortunately, like you said, it's 2 touchdowns in garbage time, and it just wasn't enough. But Haynes King, 2 touchdowns, 129 yards. Unfortunately, the 4 interceptions, and then 104 for Haynes. So again, I mean, pretty much looks like the Haynes show again. So
yeah,
it's like I said, it definitely looks like a team effort, but just came up short, man.
I think by far the MVP of the day was David Shanahan. He's the punter, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
he had 6 punts, 219 yards. He averaged 36.5, which it probably would have been higher, but the special teams was not helping him out with those returns. And he actually did drop one, inside the 20. And he was at least the most consistent Yellow Jacket all day.
Yeah, I mean, if
and
you
he
gotta
got
be
a
out
lot
there
of
all
work.
the time. Yeah, you gotta be out there all the time. You better show up.
I mean, he's probably never played more in a game than he did this time.
Yeah, no. I mean, yep.
I'm just checking who actually got the scores, which is just, yeah. That's, at least, like you said, it was spread out. It was more. We got to see an emergence of the Dante Smiths, the Dylan Leonards, the Luke Bensons, who I don't know. We haven't really said their name much this year. And when you watch games, it's mostly Singleton Jr. or Leary or one of them that are catching the passes, and Dante Smith out of the backfield. Even he was at least gaining positive yards. It wasn't much. He gained about 2 per run, but you're going to need all hands on deck for these next 2 games. For one, you need a win, and 2, you can't not show up like you did against Clemson.
Yeah, because when we show up like we did against Clemson against our opponent in 2 weeks, it's going to look worse than this score.
It might. What you guys won that one game 99-0 or something? It would look close to that.
I mean, or that 222-0.
Yeah. Yeah, they would probably take John Heisman out of your history books if that happened.
That's a weird step there.
Yeah. People don't realize that John Heisman was a person and that he actually did coach at Tech, and that's a whole nother podcast to get into the history of Tech like that.
Yeah. Hey, John Heisman was your coach.
Yeah.
You never won a Heisman.
Well, cool. Cy Young never won a Cy Young award.
Well, that's a little different because if you name it after, different, but no, no Tech players ever won a Heisman.
It's going to be a little while too.
Yeah. We've had someone in the top 4.
Yeah,
but I think Hamilton was like 2nd or 3rd, but no one's ever won it.
I want to give him the credit of being 2nd, but I feel like it was 3rd, and he should have been 2nd. I think we were both a little upset about that.
Yeah,
I don't remember because we knew he wasn't going to win. I forgot what year he was in it like that, but I knew he wasn't going to win. But I felt like he was the 2nd best on that list.
Yeah, I think so.
But the worst thing, the worst thing that happened is you went from 3rd place in the ACC with just a almost outside chance of maybe facing FSU for the title to you're pretty much out. You're now like 5th or 6th, and you're not playing for the ACC title.
Yeah, it definitely. I saw that as well. It would have been close. Unfortunately, Louisville and FSU are pretty much, they're gearing for that end. I don't know that FSU has any more ACC games. I know they play off this week, and then they have Florida for the final game of the season. So I think they're done with that. But Louisville.
FSU's played 8 games so far in the ACC, so I think they're done. Louisville still has 1 left. Almost everybody has 1 left.
Yeah, there's a lot this weekend. Florida State's playing North Alabama. We'll get to that in a bit, but yeah, Louisville has Miami. That's it.
Louisville FSU is going to be fun, but yeah, both of them. I don't know. There's a handful of teams. If Virginia Tech, North Carolina State, or UNC happen to win both their last 2 games, and they probably play each other, so that's probably not possible. Or Louisville would have to lose to have some sort of virtual tiebreaker. You could actually have somebody else slide into that 2nd spot, but it's probably Louisville versus FSU. Where's that game take place? Forgotten.
You would have to ask me that. I think it's in North Carolina.
Let's see, that'd be week 13.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. According to no, that'd be week 13. That doesn't make sense. Maybe it is. Nope, it's not. No, week 14. Yeah, it's got an ABC 8 o'clock spot. Trying to figure out where, because they do.
You are talking about ACC championship, right?
Yes, they are going to play at Bank of America Stadium, so that's Charlotte, right?
Yeah, it's it's permanent fixture in Charlotte until 2030 at least.
Yeah. Well, at least there'll be at least a couple decent teams play there.
Yeah.
There's not one now. Yeah, I said it, Panther fans. But
what about Charlotte FC?
That's true. They're not bad actually. They're not a bad squad. But of course, my screen resets. But all joking aside, this Tech team just come out flat. This is one of the worst performances they've actually had all year, and they've had some real stinkers at Louisville games won. There's a couple that were pretty bad, and they're gonna have to put the big boy pants on and figure out the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we need a one win. Brent Pease, we talked about it. He said, "I don't know. All season we've been looking at next game. Let's look at the next game."
Yep.
He said he started talking about it on Sunday. Now, one win and we're bowl eligible.
Yep.
So I had thought about it all season, but now it really hits. So that we got 2 games left, and this one coming up in a couple of days is most likely where we're gonna. I mean, if anything, is our best chance. Like you said, we talked about it before. I mean, there are some chances in there if things do go right, but for next game. But the way this game coming up will probably be our best chance.
Yeah, probably so. But we're going to talk about this Tech game against Syracuse here in a second. I'm going to save it for the end because it's actually the last game to happen this week for the ACC. Yep. Got to update you guys real quick because as of this recording, currently at halftime, Boston College is losing to Pitt 10-6 as the ACC has already kicked off for this year. I mean, this year too, but this week. And I was probably going to pick Boston College in this, and I'm still going to stick by that as far as who I think is going to win. But for the sake of it, who you like, Boston College or Pitt?
I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I was kind of looking at that score as well earlier, and it was kind of odd seeing the one that probably shouldn't be winning is winning.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably Boston College.
You made it sound like I made you pick your favorite kid or something there.
I know. I'm just thinking about it.
It's the Eagles and the Panthers. I mean, into Saturday's action, number 10 Louisville is going to Miami. This could actually still be a fun matchup. Noon kickoff on ABC. Miami is a 1-point favorite. Ouch. That's a slap to the face of Louisville and all they've done this year.
Yeah, I'd say so. But I think that's wrong. I think Louisville will prevail. I think they know, this is probably their final ACC game, and win, and you're pretty much in. So I think they'll definitely be playing for that, and I think they'll prevail.
Yeah, that is their last ACC game. They play Kentucky next week, and they're probably going to stomp them too.
Yeah,
that would normally be a fun matchup, but I don't think Kentucky has anything for them this year. Or this year too. I don't know, this week, this year, anytime. Yeah, I got Louisville too. Normally, I would try to take Miami because it's a decent play, especially betting wise. But we're not betting here; we're just picking the games. Yeah, Louisville's probably going to win that, and I kind of hope they do because they would lock in their shot at the ACC, and we get FSU Louisville, and that's a pretty good matchup. Yep. Duke at Virginia. That is a 3 p.m. kickoff on the CW network. Duke is a 3.5-point favorite, and I hope that doesn't bump Masters of Illusion because I love watching that show. Yes, folks, I actually do watch the CW network. These are actual shows that I'm mentioning from the CW network.
Shout out to the CW.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We know some people who've been on that network.
Yeah, we do.
I'm gonna go Duke for this one. I think they've had a decent season. Virginia they've had some hardships and it's kind of played out on the field. So I'm gonna go with Duke.
Yeah, I got to go with the Dukies on this one. Virginia just hasn't been able to put enough together to be able to take on a team that already has 6 wins. So that's just why I think Duke's going to win that one. Wake Forest at number 19, Notre Dame. The closest thing to an ACC team that Wake Forest will play is Notre Dame this week. Wow, I did not realize they were 7-3. They have had a slightly better year than I thought. 3:30 kickoff on NBC, otherwise known as Notre Dame Broadcast Channel. They are a 24.5-point favorite over Wake Forest.
I don't know it'll be that much, but I hate it. I hate that I have to say this, but I'm taking Notre Dame. Wish I would just take them off the map, but sorry guys. That was not a terroristic threat. Anyone listen? But
all views expressed by GaTechJon are the express views of GaTechJon and not of Impact Media nor this entire network.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to take Notre Dame. It's just
it'll make me popular on Sunday at church, so I will take Notre Dame. I would have took them in this anyway, and that means that Wake Forest is not going to make a bowl because they have to go 2-0. They have Notre Dame this week. They have Syracuse next week, and that Syracuse in a similar boat, but they just need to win one. So Syracuse will probably get bowl eligible next week if they don't beat Tech, of course. But yeah, Notre Dame in this one. I really thought they were going to be a lot better than they are. I really thought they could be a top 8 team. They're probably going to finish about 15th this year, but hey, go to Notre Dame. Number 20, North Carolina is going to go into Clemson, South Carolina, into the real Death Valley. Get a lot of hate mail for that one. 3:30 kickoff on the 4-letter network. Clemson is a 7.5-point favorite. Hey, I've been to Clemson twice. Once as a home fan, once as an away fan, and it's one of the most fantastic places to watch a game.
Well, unfortunately, I think it's going to be quiet in Death Valley. So Carolina Blue comes in and prevails against Clemson.
Imagine how pretty that stadium's going to be with that North Carolina blue and that Clemson orange. That's going to be real fun on the 4-letter network. Make sure you have the HD function on your televisions. It's going to really light up. But yeah, I got North Carolina in that one. I think Clemson, they did enough to get bowl eligible. They might win next week. I didn't see who they were facing. Where are they facing? They have. Do they play? They may not play.
Clemson probably plays South Carolina next week.
They're playing South Carolina. South Carolina has to go 2-0 to be in a bowl. So unfortunately, the Gamecocks are not being bowl eligible either. Yeah,
these are Clemson in-state rivalry last week.
Yeah, I think Clemson had it. They put everything they could in to get to this far. They're not going to beat North Carolina. They're probably going to win next week pretty easily. I don't think Spencer Rattler is going to be able to do it. But other than that, I don't know. I feel like you're playing Mario Kart and you keep finding the banana peel. It's pretty funny.
Sorry about that.
No, it's really funny. And we do actually get comments about this. They're like, "What is going on over there?" I said, "It's that same banana peel, man. Donkey Kong comes by and drops it, and he hits it every time. It's really crazy." But I got a couple games left with a couple minutes to go. NC State at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is sitting at 5-5. They've got to try to find a win somewhere. 3:30 on the ACC network. Virginia Tech is a 2.5-point favorite at home, which means if it was in your backyard, NC State would be a half-point favorite.
Yep. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on in Virginia this year. There's been a lot of unfortunate things going on in Virginia this year, and it's just kind of affected both sides, I think. So I think Virginia Tech are going to have to figure it out next week. Because I think NC State prevails against Virginia Tech.
I mean, at least Virginia Tech is playing at home because that way that ride down the country road to their home is not going to be that long. But NC State's probably going to win this. Last one we talk about before we get into Tech with a couple minutes. We still got a little bit of time. North Alabama, not to be confused with West Alabama. North Alabama is going to go down to Tallahassee to face the number 4 ranked Florida State Seminoles. I actually think they should be ranked slightly higher, but they didn't ask me. I don't think they asked you as well. This is part 2 of the CW Network doubleheader, which means if I miss Masters of Illusion, I'm probably going to miss Whose Line Is It Anyway? They're showing a lot of the old ones. They're really good. The one with Aisha Tyler. It's she was actually a good host. Her and Wayne really get into it. But anyway, that's enough about that show. North Alabama at number 4, Florida State. I don't even see a spread on this, so Vegas did us a favor and said, I think you figured this one out.
Yeah, pretty much. This is probably another one of those matchups where North Alabama is getting some money on play.
I hope so.
Because, I mean, I can't say much because we paid Bowling Green to come play and then they beat us. But I don't think this is going to be the scenario here. I mean, when Vegas is like, yeah, nah, we ain't going to play with that one. You're stupid if you're going to bet North Alabama. So, sorry, guys. But this is definitely, there's going to be a lot of Seminole chops going on down there.
That's just what I was about to do. I was all day long. And I know we're in the Atlanta area, but this is not about baseball. It is all about Florida State. I honestly think, depending on the day, they could be the number 1 or number 2 team in the country, just depending on who you ask and matchups and politics aside. They're really good. I hope my team doesn't have to match up with them, but I'd be willing to bet they do. That's a whole different can of worms there. But yeah, Seminoles all day. And then to cap it all off, Syracuse at Georgia Tech, both teams at 5-5. Tech is a 6.5-point favorite. Thank you, Vegas. That is very generous, probably too generous. But 8 p.m. on ACC Network on Saturday. How is Tech going to pull it off?
Yeah, I think I would definitely have to look at not repeating what we did last week. Syracuse, I mean, they're just like us. Like you said, no 5-5. We're both looking for a bowl eligible win here. Just six. I think the spread pretty much kind of says how it is. It should be pretty close. I've seen some other ones where I think it's like a 1-point favorite to us. Like looking like, I think someone I read somewhere they were predicting like 27-26. Should be a pretty close game, but I definitely think this is where the Ramblin' Rat become bowl eligible.
First off, I sure hope so. But second off, I actually do think so. Like we said, next week is going to be interesting. So I have to hurry so I can talk about next week. Actually, I do think Tech is going to get this one. It's going to go back and forth. I don't know if Tech goes up early or not, but I think Syracuse is going to lead a majority of the middle of this game, and maybe early fourth we see Tech kind of mount a comeback. I don't know if it'll be at the end or not. They may actually have I think they win by 7-8 points. Possibly. They probably win by 4 more than likely. It's probably 28-24, something like that. Like you're saying, 30-31-27. That's a random enough score. Those 30. And heck, if Tech can score 31 points, that's outstanding. So I think they got to come out early, and they got to play Tech football, and then they got to kind of the soccer term for it is park the bus. But you got to get control of the game, and you got to lock Syracuse down. And if you do that, I think you have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm glad this one. This is at home. We finish the season out with both 2 home games here.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
So we can pack the Dodge, and I agree with you there. Should be pretty close, pretty good. Maybe I'm hoping it's a more would come out strong early, and then the way things kind of look, come out strong early. Syracuse kind of coming back a little bit, and then we finish it off and take that win. And if they win this week and lose next week, my prediction of 6 games would be correct.
Yeah, I was about to say they have to go 2-0 for me to be right. So that's but I'm okay. I'm okay with being off by a game. I'm totally okay with that. It's been a crazy year for them. But lastly, obviously on this network we have this show Up with the White and Gold that is about Georgia Tech. It features John and myself. Jake and myself do the Hunker Down show about UGA. Well, next week, since both teams are playing each other, we're going to combine the shows. We're going to call it Up with the Down because it just sounds quirky enough to be something the three of us would do. But we are going to record that early week and hopefully have it up in time for Thanksgiving for you guys. I guess I'm going to sit in the middle and be the referee and make sure that these two don't really get into it. I doubt they do. Our debates very rarely get above this octave. Honestly, they really don't. But stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And for GaTechJon Watts, I am Jeremy the Impact York. This has been Up with the White and Gold. We will see you guys in a couple days. Hopefully, talk about a Tech victory and how they're going to beat Georgia. Sorry, Jake. Can we get a Go Tech on the way out?
Go Jackets.